That's part of the reason why there aren't as many tournaments there.
And let's see him here. Tsydypov, he does have a rating of 3,158, so clearly a very strong player playing against his countryman Jan Nepomniachtchi, who has played in the World Championship matches, and Tsydypov, he's playing the Sicilian Opening in Najdorf. He is playing ambitiously here. He's trying to win.
Yeah, I've tried what Jan is doing here. You push the pawns on the king side, you're still castling queen side, and you're avoiding maybe some dragon theory or playing a bit of a sideline. It's a bit more known these days, and especially with rapid and blitz, players are opting for sidelines against the Sicilian a bit more often. So based on the speed, feels like Tsydypov is a bit familiar with this. But I generally like White's position. You avoid some dragon theory, but you still get to queenside castle and push the H-pawn eventually.
Eventually,
Simon was here. He'd be very happy with Harry the H-pawn.
Yeah. Well, Tsydypov looks very concentrated and does have a bit of a time advantage. It's very rare that I see someone have more time on the clock than Nepomniachtchi, and now threatening a fork on the knight.
Potentially, you might. Yeah. Now there's definitely a rook hanging.
This is just chaos.
This just looks good for White because worst case is you queenside castle as White, and you probably feel safe. Where's Black castling? Maybe the rook even slides down. Even the rook here is threatening, checkmate.
Wow.
Right? Like it's something looks off here. That's what I can say. Trying to figure out what it is. Sliding the rook in looks very natural to me.
And good news that Sina Movahed, he is back playing in round 7 after missing round 8. Ooh, and a kind of cool way of...
It's a cool way, but why not the rook? See, I'm figuring that out. Is it still good for... Is he playing b4? Yes, b4. You were talking about a fork.
Oh, no.
The idea is after the bishop takes... Black has ideas too, though.
Yeah, I see that now.
Black's queen is swinging over to centralize and pin the knight. So... Did Jan miss something in this variation? This was his idea.
Yeah.
Move the queen out of the way and fork, but look for Black's queen to centralize and pin that knight. And I think a deep think is required here. Now,
it's not too late, you think?
For which?
For Nepomniachtchi now, when he's struck with this knight move, it looks like a lot of pieces are hanging.
Well, he can always just win the knight and lose a knight, and then it's still even. So he's looking for the best variation possible. Ideally, when you win a knight, stay up a knight.
Yeah.
And that's what he's stuck on. But I think this is a good find for Black. And you don't see it too often when Jan goes for tactics and calculation. He's very, very sharp. But his opponent saw it right away because look at the move. It was played instantly. And the queen centralizes. So this is just Jan being ambitious. I understand why. But being out-calculated by his younger opponent here. And there's no way to avoid losing that knight unless you want to give up a rook. And White's only up a knight temporarily, so a rook would be a bit too much, especially because we don't see an attack for Jan. There's no more... Yeah. The queen is actually out of the game over here.
Yeah, and also he couldn't castle alongside anymore in good faith. So now his king is also a lot more stressed in the middle of the board.
There's another pawn loose now. Black can decide to take that pawn. I think it's safe. And now, minute and a half extra. That move does look very strange to me. Because wait. A blunder.
Oh no.
A blunder. Wow. The bishop is sliding in. I missed that. Jan missed that.
Tsydypov did not miss it.
And now the rook is hanging. So White will lose that rook after Black sacrificed. And so now Tsydypov's up a pawn, up 2 pawns now. And again, no counterplay.
Wow.
Because Black's king is safe. Maybe even bring your king out so you can swing your rook over this way. And he's played it. This is a marvelous game. I mean, the tactics have been very impressive. You asked me what I knew about the player. Not too much, but this is a very good impression right now.
And he's taking time to defend his pawns. He has up on time. He has a lot of time.
Everything is good for White here. And the issue is White's king is also not safe. So White can't even just go all in and try to attack because the king is constantly being harassed.
Wow. Very impressive.
Potentially a queen trade. Okay, that stops it. I don't like this last maneuver because Jan is now threatening this. Black has played a couple funny moves. Now has to pivot, try to trade the queens.
And we do see a check on the king that has to be dealt with.
You're deciding if you move your king over or you block with the pawn. I think I would move my king over, but I'm also a little worried about maybe the queen sliding in here. I think that's the concern. So I would definitely invest some time as black to calculate because Jan wants to keep the queens on the board. You're down 2 pawns, so you're not really looking to trade into a lost endgame.
But he's spending his time now. He's trying to be precise. He knows that victory is just around the corner. He does have a lot better of position. He's leading with 2 pawns now, and he just needs to not mess up in these final moments. But he spent more than a minute on this move.
Yeah, the queen is coming in, and that's a bit annoying. That queen, black has a check later on, but white's able to block. So it's definitely this queen maneuver, I think, that's really bothering Tsydypov. And it might be one of those weird moves like king here to meet this with that. But then there's rook here. See, Jan plays the queen maneuver, and maybe he's willing to just give up those pawns. Or is there a check? Like, this is very sharp.
Yeah.
And this is where Jan thrives. He's down a minute and a half, down 2 pawns, all of a sudden up on the clock, and things are looking loose. This is what I calculated. I said, looked like white was gaining some ground. That's 1 pawn.
Oh, wow. And
now g6, the g pawn, everything is getting loose. Wait. There should be a check from behind. Maybe bring the bishop and then check here. Because black can sacrifice all the pawns and go for broke here. I'm really thinking about this and some sort of check. Pin the bishop, give a check, or give a check first. Look for black to bring the queen in. I don't think that was the right one.
Oh, wow. And it's evening out, and he has way less time now, Tsydypov. You can see the frustration in his eyes. He's still trying to set up some kind of checkmate, but now...
Jan is using these pawns to shelter the king and black's pieces. Okay. It's still very hard to play for white, but the time advantage.
Yeah, the time advantage.
Tsydypov is down, losing momentum here, losing checks. You can give a couple checks. But the king is walking. Is the king walking? Oh, no, you can't walk the king too far because the bishop will check.
So he needs to go somewhere else.
This is instructional. Jan is walking the king back in a way to avoid a perpetual.
Oh,
but he might expose himself. He just what is going on here? Check. Is the king walk successful? You can check again. And now Jan is ready to king walk, I think.
And look at him. He's realized it. He looks very confident right now.
Oh, you can just snap the pawn off. There's a few different ways to play this. Take the pawn with check. Yeah. That's a huge comeback.
Wow.
Those are so stressful because you feel like you're winning as black, and you probably was, but the king starts to escape, you start second guessing yourself. Now just give up the queen. Trade it off, and that's it. And Tsydypov's got to be unhappy. He was probably completely winning. He made one passive move, and that's Jan's strength. Had the initiative, started playing quickly, and from being down a minute and a half to look at this.
And we no longer have anyone with a perfect score. Tsydypov goes down against Nepomniachtchi.